NHL hockey, pub crawling, and the city's most famous landmark, the Space Needle.
The Travel Guys are in Seattle, Washington, next. Hi, I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Darren Parkman.
And we are the Travel Guys.
One of the most beautiful cities on the west coast of the USA is Seattle, Washington, and we are thrilled to be back here in the Emerald City.
So true, pal. Coming up, we'll pay our respects to one of rock and roll's greatest legends.
Well, check out Seattle's newest sports sensation, the Seattle Kraken of the NHL.
And we'll get a bird's eye view of this city from one of its top attractions.
I'm guessing that's the Space Needle.
Give that man a cigar.
I knew it. All that and a lot more coming up, so stick around. Probably the biggest tourist attraction in downtown Seattle has got to be Pike Place Market. It's a beehive of activity around here. There's street performers here, there's some great jobs. And do you recall, sir, the time that you and I visited the famous Pike Place Market fish stand?
This happened.
You should try.
You gotta catch it!
Come on, baby.
Nice! Look at that crowd. I got it. Oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah, I smelled like fish for a week, but it was worth it.
That was good times. Come check this area out. As Darren said, there's just full of people and energy and lots to see.
Now that's what I call making good use of an alley. You don't see that in every city.
You don't, and making it very popular.
Absolutely.
Post alley behind us.
Very cool. Lots of bars and restaurants, very crowded. Kind of European flavor to it, doesn't it?
Did you say something about a bar?
I think I heard the word bar.
Okay.
Did I hear that? Yes, someone said it. Let's go investigate.
Well, Parkman and I are still hanging out in the very cool, trendy Post Alley at a very, very wonderful pub called Kel's Irish Pub. We have a Guinness buddy.
We do?
Yes.
Life is good.
It always is good with a Guinness, yeah.
And in a lot of cities all over the world, we have done something called a pub crawl, where we sample several pubs in that city and kind of give our impressions of it.
That's right. Jim and Darren's Pub Crawl is what we call it. Yeah.
Just, you know what, we've done Jim and Darren's Pub Crawl all over the world.
Oh, you got a name change? You want to say
I was just going to say, is there any way we could, just for this one episode, call it Darren and Jim's Pub Crawl?
I tell you what, I wouldn't fight you on that. So what,
okay, let me take this one step further. Is there any way we could call this Darren's Pub Crawl with a limited appearance by Jim Gordon?
That we cannot do, because I'm never going to be a limited appearance.
You'll be like a guest appearance.
A guest star. Yeah. No, but we will call it Darren's.
You'll do a walk on and then leave?
This is never going to end, is it? Thank you. It's a Darren, we'll call it Darren and Jim's old-fashioned pub crawl, or just Jim and Darren and Jim's pub crawl?
Darren's Pub Crawl with a cameo appearance by Jim Gordon.
I'm not going to win this fight.
Okay. Let's do Jim and Darren's Pub Crawl. Let's keep it the way it was.
He is considered one of the greatest of the rock and roll stars, and he was laid to rest here in the town of Renton, just outside Seattle. That's right, we are at the very impressive memorial of Jimi Hendrix, who, I guess, revolutionized music. I mean, we've all seen that famous guitar solo at Woodstock, and thousands of avid fans come to this memorial every year to pay their respects, and it's kind of cool to be here. It really is a beautiful tribute. I love the replica of his guitar right behind us, and people bring guitar picks here to pay tribute to Jimi Hendrix because he's considered the greatest. When it comes to guitar, rock and roll guitar, he set the standard, he sure did.
Well, let's pay our respects to the greatest rock and roll guitarist of all time, Jimi Hendrix,
with these guitar picks at his memorial.
You've done so much for this hotel. I was told the story of what you were doing here and what you've done from an art standpoint, and it's just fantastic. Tell our viewers about this love letter that you have created on the 14th floor.
I have been here partnering with the W since 2016, and when the pandemic hit, there was this opportunity to come in and paint murals inside the hotel. So, I mean, as a creator, I saw that as an opportunity to like look at any wall and offer up, you know, my services and start to paint something. So as the artist in residence as of 2021, I was staying on site at the hotel in one of our suites, corner suites. Great view, by the way. As I'm laying there one of these nights, and I draw every morning, I draw something. And I usually draw like a set for a whole month of one theme. And I was making these portraits for a whole month. And I'm laying there and I was like, man, it would be so cool to paint one of these. But you can't just go around and paint on walls without permission or getting hired, you know? I'm like, oh my God, this wall. I'm laying there. There's a blank wall. And you know, it's not like a dorm room. You can't go, you know, you can't just go paint and then paint over it. I gotta ask permission. So I go to our GM, Wade, and I asked him, I was like, hey, what do you think about this? I've mocked up the whole concept. And I was like, not one, but like the whole floor, just these portraits. And he looks and he's like, that's actually really cool. Let's let you do one in your room and then we'll come and view it in a month. And I was like, great. So instead of just doing that, I got to take it to the next level because that's just how I am. I'm extra. So I'm like, what if this person, this fictitious person that I'm creating is a representation of one of our neighborhoods? And then what if every room on that floor is a representation of all of our neighborhoods in Seattle? If that person was like someone you ran into on the street and you ask them like, what do you do? Like, what do you do here? And they have their story and their favorite places to visit, like their favorite coffee shop, their favorite place for brunch, their favorite place to go on a walk. Like, what would they say? So I'm like, as a Seattle native, I'm like, I know these things. And so I'll put this list together. So I created this little website with all of the information, kind of like a locals guide list to all the things with like a map and pictures and a very interactive experience, including even a playlist of what they might listen to. So it makes this person like totally real, who's not even real, right? And so I started with Stella, and Stella is in a representation of Capitol Hill, and it's our district, very eclectic art district just up the road here. As a person who stays downtown, right, just a visitor, they're probably just going to stay downtown. They're going to go to Pike's Place. They're going to go to the waterfront. They're going to come back. And they're like, I don't really know where else to go. But if they stayed in that room and they scan a QR code and they view this experience, like they're like, oh my God, this is totally a gem. Right,
the
totally a gem.
barcode is you're looking at images right now. It just explains everything to you.
Totally.
It's brilliant. Here in the living room bar at W Seattle, joined by Greg. Greg, can you tell our viewers about some of the great amenities they can enjoy that we've been enjoying staying here?
Yeah, W Seattle is located in downtown Seattle, right in the heart of the city. We're just 4 blocks from the waterfront. It's a great location, close to all of the attractions that the city has to offer, the stadiums. What's really cool is we're a lifestyle hotel, so we're a destination in itself. We have a bar that's quite active in the evening called the Living Room Bar. The fireplace is crackling behind us. Great cocktail culture and food. Speaking of food, our restaurant, Trace Market, is a European style cafe. Really great for grab and go, or if you want to dine in, serving breakfast and lunch. And then because we're located downtown, we have amazing partnerships, and one of our partnerships is with Nordstrom, the flagship store. We're just 4 blocks right down 4th Avenue, and we have a Nordstrom shopping package, and what's unique about it is if you shop there and pick up all those packages. You don't have to lug them back to the hotel. We have what's called store to door, a package pro that will pick up those packages for you and deliver them to your door before you check out of the hotel.
Tell me what I'm having here. This is the Jackson cocktail. I'm about to sample it again.
Yes, so Jackson cocktail is Bacardi rum, a little lime juice, 75 simple, and some charcoal and an edible print. So the print that was on top was actually a sugar created print of the face for that room.
Last cocktail.
That's the Midnight's Revenge. We had an artist you might have heard of this summer, Taylor Swift, stay with us. So the Midnight's Revenge was created, and it is hot. And everyone, when we tried to take it off the menu, everyone said, no, keep it on the menu. So what this is Kettle One, white cranberry juice, simple syrup, and triple sec. And I've already taken the little juice that goes in there that transforms a drink from midnight to revenge.
Very nice, Greg. Thank you very much. W Hotel here in Seattle. Thanks.
Thank you.
There are a lot of great and more importantly trendy cool bars in Seattle. We're in one now at the W.
Where we're staying, the living room bar, and boy, this drink I'm having right now can sum up parts of my life. Bad idea, right?
And this sums up parts of my life, no strings attached.
Oh,
that's what this one's called. And I'll tell you, it's all part of something that we call the cocktail culture. Mm-hmm. I'm a little old for that, but you know what? I'm taking a page from it. I got a pocket square. Well, it's not a square. See how it's in there, kind of messy?
Yeah.
That's cocktail culture.
It always seems like it's hurting my hip because I'm also old, but
and you know, I got the trendy spectacles now. They're also known as dollar store cheaters. Excellent. But check out this look. How's that? Is that working for me?
Makes you look smarter.
Wherever you've been, oh, 'cause baby, forever and always beside you I'll be. I wanna know that beside you I'll be.
Well, this is kind of rare. We're actually sitting outside in November, and we're continuing our pub crawl here at a great brew pub. How often do you get to sit outside and have a beer in November?
Not often. We're in the very hip, trendy area of Capitol Hill at a very cool spot called Red Hook Brew Lab, enjoying some of their beers. And you're right, buddy, it's mid-November. Here we are sitting outside in the only outdoor part of the pub crawl.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and speaking of pub crawls and drinking, why do you always have one more than me?
It's a little something I like to call thinking ahead.
Oh, thinking
So
ahead.
you have to go in there and wait in line. I've already got one waiting here.
Right.
Saves time.
Very smart.
It saves time.
This is why you're a success. I'm telling you.
That's one of the reasons, yes.
Well, it's got a little breezier outside, so we've stepped inside the Red Hook Brew Lab, buddy.
I like the name Brew Lab because it indicates that there's a laboratory that's making beer.
That's what they do. Actually,
To me,
this is really nice beer,
only
too.
a good scientist can make a good beer. Hence the name Brew Lab.
Yeah, no, it's very cool, actually. No, this is great looking. I'm really glad we made the trek over to Capitol Hill. Check
Absolutely.
this place out.
You know what? I don't think we're ever going to be too old for these pub crawls.
You speak for yourself,
We're
right?
doing them 20 years, and we got another 20 more years.
Oh,
in us.
yes, yes, of course.
Sampling
we do.
beers all over the world. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
no, this is nice. Cheers.
It is good. Cheers.
And almost empty.
It is early evening on a Saturday night, and it is a great night for a hockey game. Jim Gordon.
Yes, the newest NHL team, the Seattle Kraken, playing the Calgary Flames here at Climate Pledge Arena, and we are excited to check out a game in another city.
Should be great. Look forward to it. And they have a better record than the Vancouver Canucks, don't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, now we're inside the arena, buddy. I got to tell you, this is a state-of-the-art arena.
It's pretty beautiful, and I got to say, what's cool about this arena in particular is 3/4 of it is actually underground.
True,
I
yeah.
think that's probably the only facility in the NHL that has that feature. You're
Yeah.
basically underground here. And, you know, us standing here with the ice in the backgroround, I feel like we're color commentators for the game.
We're not that
It's going to be a
talented,
great
actually.
game, Jim. It's the Calgary Flames versus the Seattle Kraken. That didn't sound very good, did it? No.
Oh, you're okay.
I got to work on it. Well, we are here with Everett Fitzhugh, who is the voice of the Seattle Kraken. And Everett, it's got to be fun calling these games, and you guys had an unbelievable inaugural season. Is Seattle now officially a big hockey town?
I think it is. You know, I tell folks all the time, I grew up in Detroit and I was around when the Red Wings were winning those cups back in the late 90s. I felt that same passion from the beginning of our organization, from day one in year one, all the way through last season. We make the second round of the playoffs. The city was abuzz. You couldn't go 10 feet without seeing Kraken jerseys and hats and all of that. So this town, I think for sure, has become a hockey town.
Yeah, it was an incredible first year for sure, and you're back at it again this year. Now, as a play-by-play guy, you got to talk for almost 3 hours straight here. What do you do to warm up for that? Any voice exercises? You sing a song in the shower? What do you do?
You know what? Honestly, a lot of tea, a lot of honey. I sing in the car on my way to the rink. So, you know, maybe we'll warm the voice up down here. I'll do my best Barry White, hello. But like, you know, honestly, it comes naturally, I think. I don't do too much of anything, but I luckily to this day, I've yet to miss a game, knock on wood, because of my voice, so hopefully it'll stay that same.
We're going to let you save your voice for the game here. Thanks so much, Everett. We look forward to seeing the game, and thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Excellent, thanks. Well, behind us is by far the most famous landmark in all of Seattle.
And we're going to head to the top of this Space Needle. Well, we've taken the 41-second elevator ride up. We're about 520 feet up from the ground, buddy, and a spectacular view.
And we're standing on the new observation deck here, which provides basically an unobstructed 360-degree view. Used to be you'd look through a cage, but it's pretty cool up here. And you're afraid of heights. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yeah?
I've only cried 3 times.
You're not terrified?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not terrified?
Well, I am a little bit terrified.
Okay.
Anyway, we should also mention, as you said, a lot has changed since we were last here in 2017. Let's go check some more of this place out.
Well, this is a great new feature at the Space Needle. It's only been here a couple of years. It's the revolving glass floor, and the view from here is pretty freaky if you look down. It's wild to just look down through the floor and see the ground 500 feet below. And I know Jim Gordon is not anywhere in this area. Well, there he is over
here.
Yeah.
There's 1 foot on
Come
there.
on. Set it, yeah, put 1 foot up just to say you've done it. All right. He's afraid of heights. It's actually hard to think of any other structure that is so identified with a city.
Yeah.
The Space Needle is that iconic. It
Oh,
really
it is. Yeah, great history too. Opened in 1962.
Right.
And trivia question for you.
Yes.
Who was in the movie and what was the movie about?
Well, it was Elvis's movie. It happened at the World's Fair. Elvis was in it, and a young Kurt Russell was also in that movie.
That's right, actually, correct. Yeah. Yeah, this place welcomes over 1 million visitors per year.
Another thing Seattle is very famous for is the original monorail system, which we're on right now. And this train was considered very futuristic when it first came about back in the 60s.
Yeah, 1965 for a grand total of $600,000.
I can't believe how spacious it is.
This is a great way, an inexpensive way to get around downtown. It's fantastic.
Seattle has some world-class cuisine, and we're about to get a little taste of that, literally, at a great restaurant called Conversation.
That's right, in the Thompson Hotel, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Joined by Chef Chris Ingmeyer, who's put a few things out for us to sample.
So our seasonal soup right now, it's a potato soup with some candied bacon and truffle oil with a local roll from Macrina Bakery.
Nice, I love truffles.
Yes, they are just coming in season.
It's a little sample.
I also have a slow roasted pork belly.
Oh, that's good.
With cornbread puree, ancho blackberry jam, and some Holmquist hazelnuts.
Nice.
And then for the entree, we've got a Snake River New York strip, demi-glace, some charred broccolini, and a potato cake.
Wow. How often are you changing your menu? Seasonal?
Yes, absolutely. Seasonal, and then I would say micro changes in between that with what's coming in, what's going out.
What's the big seller, the best seller, the specialty
I would say appetizer. Actually, the pork belly does really well. The team has done a great job just evolving flavors on that. You know, we brine it, we braise it. There's multiple steps that goes into that before we actually serve it.
You hear crazy stories. I mean, I'm loving this potato leek soup with the truffles. Are truffles really that expensive? They're crazy expensive,
They
aren't they?
are. They are. And I will say, we work with a truffle company that you can get them not 40 miles from here. So
Really?
the season is just starting, but I have
Really?
with years to come, you're going to hear less of Europe and more of
Because it's all the dogs in Italy sniffing
Yep.
them out, but
Yep.
you
And
can
now
actually.
there's dogs here. We actually do excursions with that seasonally.
Oh, that's very
That's
cool.
neat. Wow.
Absolutely.
And so what can give our viewers an idea? Open, what, 4 p.m.?
Yeah, every day for dinner we're open 5 to 10. We have happy hour during the week 4 to 6. And you know, if you come off those times, we have a rooftop bar that's open every day.
Yeah, very
at
cool.
1 o'clock.
Very nice.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
This is great, Chris. Thanks for the food. No offense, but we're going to dig in
Yeah,
now.
enjoy. Thank you.
Oh, it's good. Love it.
This is really good. Wow. Well, now it's time for a little thing we like to call Jim and Darren Meet the People.
Or, as it's also known, approaching total strangers that would normally ignore us. Let's do it. What's the best thing about Seattle, in your opinion?
Oh, all the rain, of course.
The rain.
Sure.
And ironically enough, it's raining right now.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
Yeah.
This is the first rainfall Seattle's ever had?
No. Every time I come here, it rains.
Here with Jose. What is the best thing about Seattle, in your opinion?
I mean, the weather. The weather's nice. The food, the scenery here is very awesome. We are from California, so this is our first time here visiting, and it's amazing. It's very, very beautiful.
I like the theater.
The theater. Ah, interesting. Wow, cool.
Fairmont and Fifth Avenue Theater.
Some classic old theaters in town?
No, this is live, like plays.
Oh, plays. Right. Okay, got you.
I think definitely the food.
Oh, yeah? What's your favorite food?
A dish. It was like a pasta. It was like butter and sage. Yeah.
What's the best thing about Seattle, in your opinion?
The food,
Yeah?
flair, the vibration, the people.
Good answers. I like that. Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things to love about Seattle, and I'm going to say just being near the marine air, watching the water, seeing the boats come and go, the food scene here is unbelievable, and the market. You know, we're right across the street from Pike Place Market right now, and it's one of the best places to be.
Well, the pub crawl continues. Where are we now, sir?
This pub crawl is taking us all around the Seattle area. We are in Fremont right now.
Which is a suburb. of
Suburb,
Seattle.
yes. We're at a very cool sports bar, very loud football on right now, called LTD Bar and Grill.
A lot of big sports fans in this place. They're screaming behind us. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Cheers. Are you up for a little pub dart game?
Absolutely not.
Come on,
I've
a
never
pub
done this
dart
before.
game. The guy closest to the center gets a free round.
Well, I know the rules. I just haven't done it.
All right, let's do
since
it.
I was
Okay,
in high school.
I'll go first.
All right.
Not bad, not bad. There you go. You win a round. Well done. Well deserved. Okay, I don't have any cash on me. Wow. Look out, I'm about to shoot. See, I took the arrow out.
By the way, Darren would like to thank 1953 for that comic bit. Well, we've come to the wrap-up part of Darren and Jim's pub crawl.
It's just nice to have first billing.
No, you got it. It's okay.
Yeah.
We have all over the place in Seattle here, Capitol Hill, downtown at Pike Market, and out here in Fremont at LTD Bar and Grill.
We drank a lot of beers. There weren't very many tears. And now it's time for a cheers. See, I wrote that. Well, the last pint glass is empty. I can see land, and that means it's time to wrap things up.
Yeah, we've had a great time here in Seattle. But before we leave, as we always do, let's check out Jim and Darren's top 5 coolest things about a trip to Seattle. Number 5.
It's got to be riding Seattle's futuristic monorail. It's not that futuristic anymore, is it?
Yeah, it's still pretty cool, actually.
Still pretty cool. Number 4.
It's gotta be enjoying another Jim and Darren pub crawl.
Number 3, paying our respects to the legendary rock and roll guitarist Jimi Hendrix at his memorial here in Renton. Pretty impressive memorial.
Sure is, yeah. Number 2.
Checking out unbelievable views.
And conquering my fear of heights, kind of.
That didn't really happen. At the top of the iconic Space Needle.
And the number 1 coolest thing about our trip to Seattle.
It's got to be hanging out here and watching a Seattle Kraken game up close and personal at this gorgeous, gorgeous arena.
You got that announcer voice finally.
It's gorgeous.
We'll see you next time on The Travel Guys.
While in Seattle, the Travel Guys stayed at the W Seattle. Immerse yourself in luxury in the heart of the Emerald City.
Post-production services by First Anniversary Pictures.
Well, sir, as we always like to do, we've been here a few days. Thoughts on Seattle?
Thank you for calling me sir, by the way.
Respectful.
You know, one of my favorite cities on the West Coast for sure. It's got a very unique look. The architecture is very cool here compared to other cities, don't you think?
I agree. Yeah. You see so many different decades in their architecture. I think it's one of the great sports towns in the States.
It really is. It's almost a complete sports town. They need an NBA franchise.
They got to get that back. Yeah.
But I mean, you've got the NHL here now. You've got baseball. You've got football. What more do you need?